banter, bad cringy references, some horrible jokes that'll get overly judged. You know, the regular. But it's no longer the solo Olimoleague. No, guys. I'm Rifkin. You've been enduring my casting all morning, and now I get Zombie Girl finally joining me. I'm really glad you made it home, and I'm really glad you made it home for the Olimoleague too, because you missed some good games, but we still got some good ones ahead of us. So you'll get a little bit of StarCraft fix, I guess.
Well, that's good.
But let's kick off the series. We haven't seen this guy in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, in the top left corner of the map, spawning blue, it's going to be the Terran player recently joined Samsung Galaxy. It's Journey.
In the bottom right, as the purple Zerg, Dead Pixels True.
Alright, so last couple of weeks in the Olimoleague, we've seen True doing some, like my best describe as shenanigans. Really stupid Bane Reigns and all these things versus some of the troll Terrans, but this is actually a really good Terran player. Journey is definitely, it's been a while since we've seen him stream, it's been a while since we've seen him in the Olimoleague, but he always he dresses to impress. You know, he's always got his best game on him, and I would not be shocked if this was the guy to take down True.
No, I wouldn't be shocked either. This is basically the reason I came on, by the way. I saw that Journey was still in the semifinals.
Great.
Otherwise, I would have just cut it up next to the fire and like slept in front of it. I actually still might do that after this, but it'll be like 12 p.m., you know, and then like my parents will be up.
You could just let me believe that you were so dedicated that you didn't want to leave your partner hanging out to dry. That'd be nice too.
I'm dedicated to someone, it's just not you, Rifkin.
Oh wow.
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 That I probably shouldn't have said anything like that around Valentine's Day weekend.
I know.
You know what?
It's already done. Everyone's gonna think you're not talking about Journey. They're gonna think about that mystery guy in your life.
What? What did you start?
What did you start? You brought. Okay, you know what? This is what we're talking about, guys. Welcome back to Base Trade TV. Standard is the standard does. But this is a big map. A Journey. Here's the thing, right? We've seen him play mech. We've seen him play bio. My favorite thing about Journey is the fact that this is a Terran player. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He's got everything. There's a lot of Terran players who are okay at playing mech and great at playing bio or vice versa. But I would actually argue Journey is pretty damn good at playing everything and anything he wants.
Yeah. Any type of build, whether it's cheesy, all-in-y, mech, bio, this guy will do it. And he'll do it pretty darn well. I mean, he's still obviously not the greatest player ever. But he's kind of like, you know, if there was a next MVP.
Well, I think before you go too far into that point, it's a little unfair to say that because he's never really been given the platform, right? He was the B teamer for a while, and he left the team to go find his own. He didn't really find a sponsor or a team for a long time, so just recently joining Samsung Galaxy, he's still fairly new to the spotlight.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking back to all the qualifiers that we cast, and it wasn't that he was consistently facing, like, just like, oh, well, he just got the bad luck, you know, he kept on facing innovation every single IAM qualifier. He actually did have some, like, pretty, like, major, like, micro mistakes. I mean, back to the TVTs that we cast, right? Like,
yeah, the dream
or,
pool.
you know,
yeah.
The macro actually did not work out. So he's not, like, a perfect player. We don't want to hype him up too much, but he is definitely one of our favorites because of how much he does.
Yeah.
And he builds.
There was actually, the VODs are probably, like, classics at this point, that old era, but there's a show match we held with him versus Impact a while back, and if you guys want to see what we're talking about with this plethora of builds he has, I would definitely recommend checking that series, because I believe he played every game in that series differently.
Yeah.
There's, like, no game played twice the same way.
Yeah. I found this guy when I was watching GSL, and I was like, man, we have to get him on, and it just kind of paired up nicely that Impact needed a Terran opponent. And Journey was available, so... And that started our fascination with him. But of course, the Olimoleague and IAM qualifiers and whatnot helped too. And finally, he's back to, I don't know, home. So Olimoleague is home, maybe. But what is he doing with only one guy on gas? Was that a mistake or is that on purpose? Did they pressing it up?
Well, he put a second one on now. I don't know what he's planning to do with it. We'll give him just enough gas for Banshees, I think, still. But it looks like it's heading up to be a drop first. So like medevac into Banshees, maybe.
It's a very specific time, like, basically, no one has gas timings like Protoss, you know? Like, you'll see, like, State or someone put, like, the, you know, 3 guys in one, and then they'll actually rally the rest into the other gas geyser, because it's, like, the timing's absolutely perfect and whatnot. Terran is usually just like, well, around this time, okay, shove them all in there. So that's really weird to see him do it so specifically.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I've never really thought about it in that regard, but that is pretty much Terran in a nutshell. Like, all right, guys, do I have gas? Well, I need gas. Let's just put all the SCVs on the gas now. Yeah, early game, the nice thing is, though, for Terran, right? Like, the early game, it's a bit of a struggle for gas. It honestly is, even if you take 2 gas guys, it's full in entirely, but as the game goes on later, Terran becomes less and less gas dependent if they're not playing mech, and for that way, you get a bit of leeway, but yeah, early game, pretty precise timings on things for most players, even if it's not as precise for Protoss. But with the Mutalisk coming out pretty quickly, this Banshee Hellion attack, it's really kind of doomed to fail. He might get a bit of damage done. Maybe he catches True off guard and runs past and kills some drones, but realistically, this should not get a whole lot done.
I think it's a really cool build what Journey did, because first he's going to start out with a drop, right? And I believe the tech lab was on the starport when he was producing the medevac. So say that True made the mistake, or the Overlord died with only seeing the tech lab on a starport, he'd be like, wow, Banshees, don't have to worry about a drop. I'm not sure if that was actually the case, though.
The Reaper, of course, doesn't need to be picked up because it just comes along through the cliff. So, distracts the Lings. This was kind of huge. Gives the Widowmine tons of time to burrow, but sadly, it's going to get detonated on almost nothing. If the Hellions had been able to unload behind the mineral lines, maybe he would have stayed to fight, but...
Not really going to happen. And did we actually have any... No, he canceled Cloak. He never got a Banshee. Okay, so
that's... He started the Banshee, though, so... I guess
yeah, and he started Cloak.
After...
Like, quite a while after it was scouted, I guess.
Still, 8 drones killed is really not too bad for this attack. It could have gone much worse.
I'd say so. It also scouted the Spire. That wasn't obvious from the third timing or whatnot. Actually, True has not gotten any mutas yet. It's kind of waiting on that.
I actually don't think it's a bad choice to have stalled them out. I mean, he saw the drop, what came. He knew he wasn't going to need to rush out for a big Hellbat attack or quick Banshees, so... Delaying them a little bit, but not a lot. We do 5 Mutalisks on the way.
The medevac barely survives. Want to repair that. But that just went into a normal macro game, and it is bio, obviously, with +1/+1, stim combat shields. It'll be a good timing. You know, the mutas weren't as fast as possible, so it's like Journey is like scrambling around trying to get turrets up, although he'll want to get turrets up, and he's only getting the 1 so far. There's the second one of the natural. But it's, you know, it's Deadwing. So, of course, they're both going to get a pretty decent macro game. I mean, if True really feels comfortable, depending on how he pokes with the mutas, you could get, like, a pretty easy 4th. And here comes the mutas now.
But it's such a small amount of Mutalisks, and because Journey didn't go mech, it's not like he's not covered for this. In fact, he even put a couple turrets down by his production. I like this a lot. There's some definitely SCVs that are gonna get picked off, but this should not be anything too critical.
No. It is really nice. Just building placement. I mean, the engineering bays, no, even they are pretty much covered. So that's really nice. He does decide to kind of, and you're in there and actually get to one of those gas geysers, but it's always a risk to do that, to go behind the production, because you don't know where the Marines are, but Deadwing, I guess, has just enough dead space to get back in there with the mutas. But Journey is attacking, and the mutas over here, they aren't necessary for the defense with the big push, but they obviously help. They can pick off any Widow mines that accompany it, and of course picking up the medevac is always important, but instead he loses 2 and then goes back home. So not going to be a very big sniping force there.
Well, the Banlings are almost done. The problem is it's not really a whole lot. Speed is done as well as getting top. This isn't out of the question, but of course it is mostly up to the Mutalisks to make sure these medevacs get cleaned up pretty promptly. The Hellbats actually don't phase the Banlings. They just roll right past this, and True will take out a majority of the Marines. Mutalisks could probably stay and finish this off. They are quite weak after all.
Yeah. Well, with all the reinforcements, you know, he's taking a lot of those gas, and actually the mutas are not having a lot of banelings. Yeah, the mutas could clean that up. He is down by an upgrade for the next, like, 20 seconds or so. He's got to be careful about pushing in here, especially, you know, you don't know if they do have Widow Mines. In this case, Journey doesn't have them quite yet.
Yeah, I guess that's the question too. Like, is this going to be a really heavy meta Widow Mine build? We've definitely seen Terran players go back towards Widow Mines. I feel this phase of Widow Mines has come and gone over the last year of StarCraft 2. Some players really go heavy, some players don't even bother. It's this weird dynamic of mixing in Thors versus Widow Mines versus Marines. But I do like that he is producing them for now. We'll just see how heavy he goes with them though.
Kind of sucks that he had to lose a call down supply depot. It's always a little painful because the mutas are actually doing their job and being super, super annoying. They aren't killing SCVs, sure, but just, you know, canceling some of the fly depots, 100 minerals, and the call down really hurt. It's doing a good job.
They're doing what they're intended, harassing, not killing, not game ending, but just harassing. And being well executed too. Again, Truly comes back here with a couple of one-of my shots. Ooh. I mean, the nice thing for a Muta is, one of mine is guaranteed to kill at least one Muta. That much is great. But he's got to get back home and defend the Spire now. While he goes to defend the main, he's going to have to give up some positioning here towards the third.
Nice.
Drone's being pulled all over the place. He gets the Spire, denies +2 weapon upgrades as well, and he'll take a good chunk of these Zerglings and Banelings down with him.
Okay, the SCV split back at home was just barely good enough. He did lose quite a number of SCVs, and of course had to pull off the third.
Oh, was there a Baneling?
There you go. Yeah, it was all the Banelings and the Lings that happened were on the left side, so it was kind of weird, you know? Like, Journey knew that the Mutas were over. Oh, nice Baneling hits. Ooh, that kind of. Well, that's not really that terrifying of a position anymore. The Widowmines are pretty terrifying.
Yeah, wait for those Widowmines to go off, but dodges out of them both.
Yeah,
so,
but
I guess that's the question, like, what's worse, losing the tech or losing the economy? For Journey's sake, he's got enough mules that I really don't think losing the SCVs was that devastating. And for True's sake, not be able to build more Mutalisks right now, losing any right now he can't replace, his upgrades are stalled out because of this. I really don't know. What do you think? What ends up being worse here?
I think it is better for Journey, but we're not seeing, like, a perfect game from him, and it is Deadwing on cross position, so... Despite, I think, like, getting a Spire is better than losing 10 SCVs for a Terran, I still don't feel that great for Journey. You know, Journey still isn't doing, like, a whole ton of damage. Like, getting a production building is always great, but it's really only great if you absolutely need it, right?
Yes.
Like, you're attacking and you kill the Baneling nest and they don't have any Banelings. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. But if you attack, kill a Spire, and then you give them 2-3 more minutes to get a Spire, like, did it really do any good? There's 200 minerals.
It does take a long time to get that Spire back down, and more importantly than that, it will take more time for these upgrades to catch up. But I'm really intrigued by this triple Widowmine drop. This feels like a supernova move, you know?
So, but like I've been watching, like, you know, Pro League and SSL and all this, and Widowmine drops, which is Zerg, are just like coming back, man. Like I guess they never really existed. I mean, there's like the one that was oddly timed, but I'm talking like 3 or 4. You know, like TY was doing that the entire time he was playing, and it was just like, these are actually being effective. It's like persistence. Terran persistence is wearing out again.
Oh, he's not gonna. He just barely misses the scan on all the Banelings over there to the right side, but you're right. I mean, there's not a lot of Spore Crawlers down. There's a couple of things that's distracting a large portion of the army as well, and the Marauders on the high ground are really intriguing to see. But sadly, because they're on the high ground and not on the low ground, Journey's got nothing to soak for these Marines. The Baneling hits are pretty right, but the Widowmine shots are better, and now there's no Banelings left. But the hype is kind of over. Back in the main, he did get about 11 kills with these Widowmines, and he's got to come back to clean these up. But if he does, he gives up front ground positioning, and then maybe Journey drops towards the third, and that's kind of what we see happening.
Yeah. I think the big, like, a lot of those Banelings died, and it was purely Marine composition, so that was actually really good for Journey, I would say. Yeah, the Marauders on the bottom would have been even better, but still think that was pretty darn good.
I would like to see him drop the Marauders into the Banelings, actually. Kind of what we see happening here, baiting out their shots. Widowmine does go down, but
all the Banelings.
Yeah, this is not so good for True with these trades. Gonna catch a couple of the new ones too upon hatching. But this is such an awkward position. I feel like True could run past us and just go across the map.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, True, you know, he had that big bank. So, you know, it kind of got just back to an even bank with all these these Banelings dying. And he's on a 5th base as well. And so, you know, Journey's Widowmine drops, they're basically never going to kill a base. You know, they kill drones, of course. But you really need, like, a Marauder drop to go ahead and kill that 5th base and secure.
I love this. He's already, like, pre-evacuating this cliff. But swooping in from several different angles, it's going to be a little bit nasty as Journey will get cleaned up. He's got that reinforcement line coming, but the Thor goes down. The Banelings are... well, exhausted for the most part.
Oh. I mean, Journey might be, you know, that was a good cleanup from True. This drop might help even things out, especially if it does, in fact, just get the 5th straight up, and I think it will. Then that's great. But maybe Journey overstayed his welcome or tried to abuse that spot too many times, because now his supply is dipping down pretty hard.
Where the hell? I was waiting for that Widowmine to go off on the Banelings, and it goes off on, like, one random Zergling down here. Like, Widowmines, please.
Right.
Nice,
but he got the 5th base. I mean, and he's pulling the army back just a little bit. It's dangerous. Look at the supply only, and you're like, wow, Journey, you're a little dangerous right now. He just needs a couple more minutes to get back up there, but this is what the drop's doing.
I would say this is pretty good though, because it's someone like True that really starts to excel off of 5+ bases. You know, when he expands to 6 and keeps taking the bases he's losing over and over and over again. Journey's actually managed to keep that from kind of spiraling for now. More importantly too, True is nowhere close to Hive Tech. I mean, 21 minutes in the game, this many bases, True should have a bank. True should be able to just move on towards Ultralisks or Infestors or whatever the hell his heart desires, but yeah, Journey's trades, while not perhaps being game-ending devastating, they've been doing a lot of what's kind of key, and that's keeping True on layer tech.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, not being on Hive is really pretty bad. But what I'm really worried about is this mute account's getting really, really high. And since Journey, well, okay, before it's just took this engagement,
it takes a really bad fight.
He's still putting a lot into the mutas, right? That seems to be True's game plan. Actually, he'll clean this up, no problem. But I'm worried that Journey has been abusing this ledge too much on Deadwing. That look at the creep that's still in the middle. You know, the main push path. That's never really been cleaned up. So when the mutas get out of control, if they get out of control, and he decides to push, you're pushing a creep, and that's never a good thing for a Terran.
He's lost a lot of mutas though. That goes from like 20+ down to 17. It's still a very nice amount of mutas, especially with the ones coming out. But it's not wrecking the mineral lines. It didn't pick off reactors, tech labs. I mean, I'm loving.
Well, actually, that's
crazy
pretty good defense.
Yeah. But as the game goes on, of course, it's the main that becomes less important. That's where your production is, sure. But Journey's got a 4th base. I really don't feel too bad for his position in this game. But if this goes on another 10 minutes and he doesn't take a 5th, if True can't get a 6th, I mean, this could start looking pretty bad. And that's when we start seeing that low economy coming into play. But trying to kite through these banelings, True, just giving away so many banelings this game. You know, normally when we look at the units lost, this tab is really low on banelings because it doesn't count when they self-detonate. But 56 banelings have been straight up picked off by Marauder Fire, by Widowmine shots. I mean, Journey has certainly gotten a lot of Widowmines, or a lot of banelings killed this game. Yeah. These mutas. No.
Very dangerous, and of course
the Widowmine shots! The Widowmine shots! Oh my god! No! How? Oh, he beat Darren!
Oh, that could have been so bad. I mean, these mutas,
Tell me how those didn't go off, seriously. At least one.
Like a millisecond, man. Seriously. This True is really, like, mutas are always important in TVZ, but True is really making them the linchpin to his just like style of play.
It's funny that you bring that up too, because it's been almost, for the amount of good he's been playing with his mutas, he's been playing equally bad with his banelings. And I know everyone gets on our ass about criticizing pro players all the time, but objectively speaking, despite having 71 banelings right now, which is, by the way, what the fuck, he's been giving away so many for free. Again, a shot like this here, Widowmine's there, but Journey's got to fall back. There's no way he takes this fight. But those Widowmines, despite several of them going off, there's still another 54 banelings. Can Journey even deal with this? There's 38 Marines. There's no more Widowmines.
I think that's finally enough banelings to win out this game for True. Again, that was all of his bank. A couple of good Widowmine shots would have just, you know, it's exactly what's been happening. No more bank, no more banelings. But the Widowmines weren't that great of shots.
Oh no! Yeah, I like that he actually segmented a couple off, but you're right, that was his bank, and that was kind of borderline an all-in move. If that had gone really badly for True, there is no coming back from an investment like that. And it might not have actually ended the game. There's drops going off on the other side of the field. Journey's still on 4 bases. His supply count is in the gutter, though. Make no mistake on that point. But his 4th base was left relatively untouched through that. And I gotta tell you, he's still fighting. He's still in this game.
Yeah. He still had a bank, you know, but when you're down like 30 supply, it's dangerous for a Terran. If you're down 30 supply and they still have enough, they can actually overrun you. Yeah. Even if you had 30 more seconds, a minute, you would have been fine. It was just really, you know, that nice timing. But Journey's now down 60. So imagine how many like timings True's gonna have just roll over him. Like, it's a good thing he has so many Widowmines. That's gonna be what scare True from just like making all of those banelings again and doing another push like that.
The scary thing, like, can you imagine how different that would have been if Journey saw that coming? I mean, that really did surprise him in every essence. Not only do you get surprised by 70+ banelings, you get surprised by the fact that your army's not ready. The Widowmines aren't burrowed. There's just no way to really react to that at the last second. You have to be on top of that from the get-go. But Widowmine's being shuffled around. He's probably, I don't know if he's just going for drops. He's going for drops, but these will be really nice to have in the main for these mutas.
Ooh, the mutas just barely skirt the sensor tower, which, where did that medevac drop go to?
The main. Here we go for Widowmine's placed over here.
Oh, I see.
I wonder if it wouldn't be worth investing a couple of Vikings just to pick off the Overseers, if nothing else.
Yeah. You know, if Journey was on a bigger bank, maybe you would. Journey is the guy that like does do the biomech style, and it's a very specific style. I'm not saying you'll just like make mech units willy-nilly, but it'd be cool to see.
Almost gets the last overs here. Meanwhile, these Widowmine drops on the other side of the map. They're seen, they're reacted to.
God, so many bodies on the floor.
Yeah.
I think it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does
Okay, he's
salvage
making
one.
Yeah, he's making 2 Thors at a time. So basically, like, you know, the Widowmine shots, you know, Rivka's right. Like, he was surprised, all right? So it sucks. Like, he could have had a better one. But even with, like, not being surprised, he only had so many Marauders. Widowmines are, you know, 50-50 on good or bad shots. You start to really buff up your army, get, like, 3 Marauders at a time, 2 Thors at a time, and that mass Baneling thing won't work again.
I know, that's insane, because this is probably actually one of the first casts I can think of where someone survives that attack. You know, we've seen Hyun go 50 Banelings and win a game with that. 71 Banelings? That's usually game ending. But these Widowmines looking for some shots to the mutas. They're not going to get baited into it. There's no Overseer. It's really dangerous for True. He's playing with the utmost control. But while this goes on, there's no Zergling support because he's busy trying to get that mass Baneling count. Again, 70 plus maybe. It's taken him a long time to get to this point where he could save up and go for it once more, but I would argue this time around, Journey's going to be better prepared. Again, going back to the point that he was caught off guard, half those Widowmines were not burrow despite the almost instant burrow on them. And a couple of Thors, some Marauders to soak some hits maybe could work out, but this push out of Journey is scary. He's supply capped, but he's not maxed, or he's maxed out, but he's not supply capped either. Stuck on 183 supply, like what do? Drop down supply? No, you need every mule at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's not like he's banking a lot of money. He is starting to get back up that bank, but as we've seen, like, Banelings are explosive, right? So, and production for Terran is not that fast.
He's at 90 Banelings! He's almost on triple digits of Banelings!
He sees it, but it's a very awkward engagement. The Banelings are on the right. The Widowmine does not get to go off.
Oh no, the Widowmines are pretty much gone at this point too. The Thor's gonna soak some hits. He's split with the Marines. Will the split be good enough? The Baneling count has dissipated, but there's still so many Mutalisks behind us.
God,
but this was
Remax.
The Remax is crazy.
90 lings.
Oh, pick up the Thor. Nice pickup.
That might have been it. Actually,
I think that might have been it. Yeah, the Journey is struggling at this point. His money just doesn't exist.
Good game. The awkward engagements.
Can we just stress, Journey is so good at this game. It actually took what was upwards of 200 plus Banelings back to back to kill him. If this is your first time hearing of Journey, even though he lost